Coach, how does it feel to get your first head coaching playoff win out of the way?
It feels good. It was a good game for us. The coaches, they got on me for not kind of enjoying it because I'm thinking about the next game. So I feel good to win it, but now I just want to think about the next game.
Can you talk a little bit about the performance that Diamond had, both offensively and defensively, some of the key moments that she had?
She was good. The fact that we asked her to guard Bonner, who, for a big part of the season was leading the league in scoring. We did a good job on her, and I think she was a part of that, stand down, stand in front of her. Bonner's really shifty. She's one of the players that throws a lot of fakes. So to stay down and be disciplined and force her into contested shots, that was key. And actually get stops and then actually get out on a break. So that was good. That was good on her part, and she made some timely shots for us too that kind of kept us going when they were making a run. So she was good tonight. As you see, I think she's made for these type of moments.
First, Coach, congratulations on winning Coach of the Year.
Thank you.
Second, how impressed were you with your team's defense overall?
I was impressed. I was impressed because we held them to 37%. What I didn't like though is that they shot 26 free throws. So we have to clean that up because the team that we're playing next, they're a team that gets to the line a lot. So we have to make sure that we're ready in the stance early. But for the most part, I was happy that we didn't give up too many straight line drives, and we didn't let them collapse us too much. So it wasn't bad.
Coach, obviously this has been a special couple of days for you, the Coach of the Year, getting your first playoff win. And I'm just wondering, we've heard the players throughout this season talk about how you're very relatable. They like playing for you. And I'm wondering just big picture, like what you like about these players and how you're going to remember this group, considering so many great things happen with this group for you in your first year as a head coach. But what do they mean to you?
That's a good question. I tell them a lot how much I appreciate them, how much I love them. They're my family. And each and every player means something important to me, and we have a relatable relationship in different ways. But they've made this experience. I've always been anxious, like I said earlier, to come to work, and it's because of them. It's tough to explain in words, but I love my team a lot.
Coach, obviously your team is not the most experienced in the playoffs, but you're kind of getting experience on the fly. How much do you think this will help you on Sunday to have played one game?
I think it helps a lot. It gives us some momentum. Each game is its separate self, but you say in the playoffs, things can actually give you momentum and stuff like that. So I think it could only help us because we won in the way we won. So our offense was clicking. Maybe it's a couple of things we'll clean up defensively, but we get to see the things that we need to fix, and that's what you get with a playoff game that you win. You get to see, okay, how can you correct the errors that you had this game to take it to the next game, and how can you build off the good things that you did?
I know you know Brittany Griner personally from coaching her in Russia. How hard is it to see a player of her caliber to go down in a game like this? You never want to see a player, especially someone that's been a face of our league. You don't want to see any player get hurt, but a player of that magnitude, of that caliber player, you don't want to see him get hurt. And, of course, personal feelings is always a part of it, too. But even if I didn't know her, I wouldn't want to see her get hurt. I was actually coaching the game overseas when Breonna Stewart got hurt too, and that's just sad. That's sad because they work hard. All these players work hard. You just want all of them to be healthy, all 144 of them. Fortunately, it's not that serious. She'll be okay. So I made sure of that, and she'll just get ready for the next steps for her.
So what are your initial thoughts about getting to play Vegas again and seeing Liz Cambage again?
Have no thoughts. We just have to get ready for the game. We have to watch some film. It's a great player. She's a great player. I don't want none of that to get lost in anything of how great of a player she is, how great of a team they have, Wilson and McBride and all those players over there. So we have a lot of respect for them, and we have to prepare because we're going to a place where they play well, and we have to prepare for Cambage because she's one of the most dominant, if not the most dominant players in the league.
Tony Gill, 670 to score. Congratulations on winning Coach of the Year, Coach.
Thank you.
Maddie mentioned that you had, prior experiences with Brittany coaching her. So what was your game plan heading into this game, knowing, basically her tendencies and what she likes to do on the basketball court?
We just wanted to, make her uncomfortable and crowd her space and not give her a lot of one-on-one looks, but, she, being the player that she is, she finds ways to score. So, we didn't get a chance to, see how it would work. But I thought we were doing a good job of keeping her off the rebound, keeping her off the offensive glass. In those 14 minutes that she played, she didn't have an offensive rebound. So I thought we were on our way to doing some good stuff and some good things with her. So I think that was just keeping the body attached to her and giving her different looks as far as who we're going to bring to help to her.
Coach, in the playoffs, intangibles are such a big part of it, like hunger and passion. And with some younger players and some players that might not have a ton of playoff experience, do you feel like you sense that in your players, that they've got some hunger, maybe a chip on their shoulder, or some kind of intangible that might push them over the edge in some tough games down the stretch? Do you see that out of them yet?
Yeah, I see it. I see it. I think they have a chip on their shoulder. Last couple of years they haven't been in the playoffs, and teams come here or they go to teams, and teams just think, okay, we have a chance to win. And it's not disrespectful. That everybody can win, but when you see Chicago, you're like, okay, I think we can win this game. Now, I think we give teams they have to look at us twice and say, okay, we have to pay attention to them. Not only because they play well together, but they can score the basketball too. And defensively, they're a little bit more gritty than they have been in the past. The fact that, we had 30 assists tonight, so it was coming from everywhere. And I think us having multiple points of attack, I think it makes us hard to guard. So I do that a lot. I forgot the question. Hunger. Yeah, so I sense the hunger. Golly, I don't know why I do that.
Coach, with Las Vegas being moved out of Mandalay Bay into Thomas and Mack, a lot has been made about that, with WNBA teams having to move out of their home arenas, sometimes being scheduled out. What are your thoughts on that?
I think I don't want to make I have a dream speech, but one day, I think WNBA players will get to stay, at home, and they don't just choose to do renovations or kick him out for concerts during the summers, and because this brand of basketball is very important, and I would really like to see teams get the benefit of hosting at home in their comfort zone their playoff games, and it's nothing against whoever does scheduling, or I know it's a business, but I think we have to really invest and sacrifice a little bit, and not saying that they haven't, but it would have been nice for them to host a playoff game in their home, I'm sure. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys.
So what felt different about tonight, a playoff atmosphere, that kind of thing, if anything did?
I think it was just playoffs. It felt like more intense. It felt very similar, just that, a step up. The crowd was exciting. The game was exciting. I think Diamond was exciting. Things like that. And then, that's what the postseason's all about.
Diamond, can you talk about how you matched up against Duana defensively, and also your transition game seemed to really be clicking tonight?
Well, matching up with a player like Duana obviously is a tough assignment. So I knew I had to really pay attention to her tendencies and just recognize where she was on the floor and what she was going to be running and what they were going to be running for her. I think I did a pretty good job on her. And then offensively, being able to get out in transition, I just knew that there was an opportunity there for me to kind of outrun them. And so I know when I'm doing that, then it makes everybody else's job easier. So once again, like Soup said, everything was heightened tonight. So I just made sure that I did that on like every possession.
Courtney Diamond, that first half, you seemed to control the tempo of the game, but Phoenix was able to stay close. What changed for you defensively in the third quarter that allowed you to stretch the lead?
I mean, we just got stops, tried to make things a little more difficult. I mean, it's kind of like coming out of halftime has kind of been our thing. You know, we make that little bit of a run in the third quarter, and we knew that if we did that, we were going to be able to put them away. So that was our focus coming out of halftime was to get stops and get even more in transition, because when we play at that pace, it's just tough.
I feel like there was more excitement when you guys beat the Mystics here than right now. And Wade said that's because he's already thinking about the next game. Is that the same with you guys?
Yeah, we're thinking about the next game now because that's the game that we got to get ready for. As far as the Mystics game, it was a good game, but I felt like tonight was a great atmosphere. I felt like tonight was the best atmosphere we've had all season. And shout out to all the fans that came out, all the people that came out and supported us. We needed them. They made all the difference in the world for us tonight, and hopefully we can get back home.
Diamond, obviously you mentioned the atmosphere, but what did it feel like for you in your first playoff game? Did it feel any different?
Well, I mean, just different from an energy standpoint. Like Sloot said, just our whole approach, the level of intensity and the attention to detail that we had was heightened. But having teammates like them just reassuring me, making me feel comfortable and sure of myself, I felt like it was just another game. Obviously, there was more at stake, but I was really comfortable out there tonight.
Guys, if you guys could both answer, I was talking to Wade about how during the playoffs sometimes intangibles become really important, like is your team hungry? Does your team have a chip on its shoulder? And I'm just wondering, how do you guys feel about that? Do you feel like there's a hunger deep down in the pits of your stomach? Do you sense that out there in your teammates and yourselves? If you could both answer. Yeah,
I mean, we started out the season with that hunger, that playoff hunger, I guess. It was like if we didn't make it, it was, we couldn't find anything in this season. So now we're here, it was all about like, okay, we've put all this talk into now we're a playoff team. Now we have to go out and prove it. It's not enough just to be here. And, I think there was a little bit of both excitement because there was some players that this was their first playoff experience. And, that's something that is the goal every season coming in. And to be able to be there, it's like just this overwhelming, like, okay, excitement, hunger, whatever it is. Yeah.
I definitely think that there's something driving us in the pit of our stomach. We've all won at some point, and so as a natural competitor, you want to feel that again, and so we know that we have a special team at that, and we know that we have a special coach, and we have a special point guard, and we have special players. So I think that with all those things combined, we know that we have an opportunity here, and we just want to pursue that and just leave it all out on the floor.
So that last game with Las Vegas was pretty contentious and, a tough game. What does it mean to you to get to face them again and looking forward? What are your first thoughts at this game?
Well, I think after that game, we knew that, like, okay, we could see them again, and we wanted to, keep that top of mind, that kind of game, because, it's one that you kind of wish you had back. You think about a couple of possessions here and there, and if things go differently, they're coming to us. So, that they're a tough team. They have two incredible bigs. It's tough matchups for us, but when we play in our game, when we're doing the things that we're doing, it's just, it's tough for other teams.
Courtney, you with having the experience of these games and knowing how they feel, what did you say to kind of help get your teammates who might not have been in the playoff atmosphere before? How do you get them prepared for this game?
Well, I just kept harping on them and preaching that you get into the playoffs, it's another level of basketball. We've been here at the Chicago side, the higher seed, and getting beaten by lower seed teams that we were supposed to win because we weren't prepared when we got into the playoffs to take it a whole notch up. So I was telling them that it doesn't matter. Seeding does not matter once you get into the playoffs because, every team is good, every team is hungry. So we had to be our best to win this game, and I think we had a pretty good showing.
Courtney, we talked to both coaches, and they both made a point about the assists from everyone coming from, as one put it, all directions. Is someone who obviously prides herself on that phase of the game. Can you talk about how that translated to the entire team?
Well, I think when you have a group of girls that are just as unselfish as this group, how much chemistry we have, it's an easy way to play. People are willing to give up, maybe shots for a better shot. And it's contagious, when you see how exciting it is when, you make a play for your teammate. And, there's so many, we have such unselfish groups and we're all willing to sacrifice. We don't want this to end. So we're playing hard and for each other. We want this to go as far as we can by playing team basketball.
If you guys could both answer this as well. I was talking to Wade earlier about winning Coach of the Year and asking him, what you guys mean to him. And so what does he mean to you as your head coach, and how that kind of works its way into why he was able to win Coach of the Year this year?
Well, he told us before the game that he got excited to come to work every day to see us, and I'm sure he was lying. No, but seriously, having him come in and make the commitment to our team from day one, show us that he really cared. He bought into us first, and then we bought into him. And I think that it took a huge sacrifice. It was really one of those actions speak louder than words things. We knew he was going to come in and take this job, but we just didn't really know what was going to happen. And I think as he warmed up to us, we just, I love the guy, and I think all of us do. And it's because he believes in us, and it's because he makes us better each and every night, and he gives us a chance to be the best versions of ourselves. So I can't speak any higher of him. I could go on for days about him in this short time that we've been together, but I'm just really looking forward to the rest of this season and the future years.
Wait, I haven't answered this one yet. James and I have we have a really good relationship, and it started in Russia. And it was, one thing I really, really respect about James is it was we would have conversations for hours, about just what we want to do here in Chicago. And he was always all ears. He wanted to know everything. And he wanted to change things. And his energy is unmatched. And that's so contagious. It's easy to be around him. It's easy to play for him. He instills so much confidence in all of us. He believes in us from the beginning. And, it's a player's dream to play for a coach that just has the energy, expectations, and, he's made me better. He'll continue to be hard on me for 12 months out of the year, and I'm okay with that.
Diamond, Coach Brindello said when she was out here that you have the potential to be one of the best players ever when you leave out of here. So when you hear compliments like that coming from an opponent, how does that make you feel, about where your career is going and where you're headed?
I've heard it, but I know better than anybody that I'm not going to say it means nothing, but ultimately I have a ton of work that I have to put in and a ton of things that I have to accomplish. So thank you, Coach Brandello, for that compliment. It means a lot to me, and that's a goal that I'm working towards. That's something that I want to achieve. But it's my teammates. Like, really, like I wouldn't be the player that I have been this season. I wouldn't be playing the way that I am if it wasn't for my teammates. And so as long as I can continue to have great teammates around me, great coaches and people that just believe in me and want to see me do well, I think that I can accomplish anything I want to. So.
Just one quick one, Courtney. So Coach Brandello also mentioned that you're one of the great point guards and that your speed is underestimated. And she said that you're second only to Taurasi. But can you comment about that one aspect or both about being underestimated for how quick you are on the court?
I mean,
She fast.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think that teams try and pressure me to try and get the ball out of my hands, and they do underestimate how quick I am. But I mean, I don't know, how quick I am is a stretch. It's just, I think that they press, so it makes me look a little quicker than I really am. I don't know.